Peace, peace. This is Brother Faheem, and you are now tuned in to the Leave of Logic podcast. You know the vibes. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Leave of Logic podcast, and I'm your gracious host, Brother Faheem. Welcome back, y'all. Listen, like I always tell y'all, life is always moving at an ultramagnetic pace. I try to keep my boots laced so I can win the race. Hopefully, everybody's having a positively peaceful and productive start of the week. Mondays can be blue, but hey, they don't have to. I was in a space and we got to talking about nutrition, and there's some interest for nutrition, right? And people wanted to get into a little bit of nutrition because I am a person who believes thoroughly in nutrition and its benefits. And so I was asked to host a space on nutrition and its benefits. And I said, you know what? Not only will I do that, I'll do you guys one better. I'll create a build where I will elevate the mentality of myself and others in my circumference. That's everybody out there listening, all the millions of people viewing this. We can talk about nutrition. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that I hold near and dear to my heart. And one of those things is this book right here. It's actually two books. It's a part one and a part two. And they're by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Well, they were told they're from God in person, Master Farad Muhammad, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These are some very, very profound and powerful books written in the 60s by the messenger himself, Elijah Muhammad. And those books are super profound and they're ahead of their time, because what you find is a lot of what he's saying in that book, doctors begin to say as the years begin to evolve and as years began to go by. But he was teaching us this back in the 60s, really even before the 60s, really in the 30s, in the 20th century, in the 1900s for you youngsters. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had these books and it was changing people's lives, and it's still changing people's lives in a profound way. So I just wanted to shed a little light on that and share what I know about that. So, yes, so today's bill is going to be called the How to Eat to Live bill. So, y'all get your notebooks ready. So, I just wanted to, I'm going to share something with you guys. Share something real quick. And hopefully you guys will dig this. It's something that I read. And it's like this: The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Rasulullah, How to Eat to Live, Book 1, How to Eat to Live, Book 2. Taught us to eat one meal a day. Killing ourselves with our mouths. Now, listen to this, right? The doctors of this world teach eat 3 meals a day. Doctor's way is 1 week, 7 days, 21 meal equals 21 meals. 3 meals a day times 7 days, right? It takes 24 hours for a meal to be completely digested. 21 meals equals 504 hours needed to digest them. 21 meals times 24 hours. 1 week or 7 days equals 168 hours. 1 meal a day for 1 week, 7 days, 7 meals times 24 hours. 21 meals, 7 minus 7 days. 21 meals minus 7 meals equals 14 undigested meals stuck in your colon at the end of 1 week. That's 7 days. 56 undigested meals stuck in your colon at the end of 1 month. 14 meals times 4 weeks, which is a month. There are 4 weeks in a month. 728 undigested meals stuck in your colon at the end of 1 year. 14 meals times 52 weeks, which is a year. That's breaking down the science of eating 3 meals a day, which is what we are prescribed to eat when we go to any doctor. That's the Western diet. and it's horrible, right? It's bad. Not only do we eat too frequently, but we don't eat the proper things at that. Because our stomach, what we understand is our stomach is a muscle, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. And if you know anything about muscles, if you work out, if you exercise, you know that muscles need to rest. Now, what I tell people is when people talk about eating all the time or eating the bad foods, I always tell people first and foremost, your stomach is a muscle. It needs rest, like I just said. But also, when you think about eating certain foods that are not good for you, consider this: you have a garbage disposal in your sink. You wouldn't put your remote control from your television in your garbage disposal because the garbage disposal is constructed in a way that it would destroy the remote control, but over time, it would wear out that garbage disposal. And then you would find yourself having to buy a new one. Well, that is a machine. Your stomach is not a machine, and you only get one of them. And when that stomach goes out, it's a wrap. But essentially, that's what we're doing. We're chewing up too much garbage too often, and we are losing our lives because of it, right? Your vegetation is your medication. Make your food your medicine before medicine becomes your food. So let's get to going. Let's get to going. Now, a couple things I want you guys to remember. What we eat keeps us here, and the same will take us away. What we eat keeps us here, and the same will take us away. You got to remember that when you go into Wendy's and Burger King and Whataburger and getting all those cheap meals. You know, I grew up in that way, and we thought we were getting over. We thought we were getting a deal. We had no idea we were pushing ourselves closer to the grave, that we were actually digging our graves with our teeth. The next thing, it is it is all in the food and drink that we put into our bodies that lengthens and shortens our lives. Stay away from poison and drinks. Stay away from poison food and drinks and eat to live, right? And this is my favorite one, y'all. I have a stronger finish for this last quote. It is logical, as I keep repeating, we dig our own graves, and I may add here that we bring about our own death with our teeth. Is logical, right? What are you guys eating? And do you realize that that old saying, you are what you eat? We were told that as kids, and we kind of took it lightly as a joke or, just another cliche that the old people taught us. But it was actually very, very serious. And it was actually something that we should have and that we should keep with us. And so I'm just going to go over a few things now. This is from primarily what I've written down for you guys. It's primarily from How to Eat to Live, book 1 and 2, but also I'm going to share some resources with you all online that you'll be able to look up yourselves and hopefully internalize at whatever stage of develop that you're at. So, foods to eat and their benefit. So, the best vegetables. I'm gonna take these off. The best vegetables: cauliflower, cabbage, turnips, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, eggplants, okra, squash, rhubarb, garlic, and onions. Now, when you talk about cauliflower, what you want to do is you want to take away the green leaves, right? Cabbage, not the green leaves. Turnips, the roots, not the salad. Those are the best things to eat with, the vegetables. Those are the veggies, the best ones to eat, and how you would like to, or more specifically, what to take away, what to add, right? Now we have other vegetables. These are the vegetables that we want to stay away from: peas, collard greens, cabbage sprouts, turnips, salads, mustard greens, beet top salads, kale, white potatoes, and sweet potatoes. White potatoes are starch, which turns into those carbohydrates, and sweet potatoes are gassy. They give us gas. We understand that carbohydrates in our body is a friend of diabetes, right? Being a part of the Afro American, the Black population that's indigenous here in America, when you go to the doctor, the first thing that they tell you is, you're prone for diabetes, or you have a family member. They don't tell you that, but many of us have family members who had diabetes. So they say, well, it's inherent. It's not inherent. It's a lifestyle. It's how we eat. It's us digging our graves with our teeth. Remember? So yeah, those are some vegetables that you want to look into and you want to look to stay away from. With the peas, the collards, the turnip greens, sweet potatoes, and white potatoes, they're cheaply raised. Remember, the best way I can explain it is a lot of slave food, a lot of soul food was cheap foods, the chitlins, the hog mogs, the pig feet, the collards, the cornbread. All of these things were cheaply raised food because slaves were stock. They were cattle meant for a job, meant for labor, meant for work. You don't give your pet, you don't give your dog the best foods. I mean, you give them decent food, but you don't give them the best like what you would give yourself, right? You don't give your fish, you give them decent type of food, but you don't give them what you would give yourself. So we were cattle, we were livestock, and so we were treated as such, and we ate as such, right? And so this is why some of these veggies are not good. They're cheaply raised food, slave food, which is unfit for human consumption. Certain foods that we eat weren't even meant for human consumption. Grits, cornbread, our bodies can't break them down because, again, like that analysis of our stomach, like the garbage disposal, certain things we were not meant to digest. And cornbread and grits are one of those, are two of those things. Now, another thing, no beans except the small navy bean. The navy bean is high in protein, fats, and starches. Navy bean. You'll find members of the Nation of Islam eating a lot of bean soup, a lot of bean pie. It's because that navy bean is so rich. We were taught that if you took a child in its infancy and fed him that navy bean, he would make it to well into 200 years of life off the navy bean. When you think about beans, do not add rice or meat to beans because they already include, again, protein, starches, and fats. Now, next, fruits. I was listening to a doctor earlier and he was saying that fruits were he was saying that fruits were really unnecessary, right? And that was just that was a doctor. Like I said, doctors die from the same things their patients die from, right? So you take what doctors say with a grain of salt, but you definitely do your own research. But here are different fruits that that you can eat. And remember, it's always best to eat your fruits raw. You clean them. That doesn't mean you don't clean them. You don't want to eat any fruits with pesticides, but it's best to eat them raw, meaning not to cook them. When you cook them and caramelize them, then you deplete the nutrients and the value that your body needs, the minerals and the nutrition that your body needs. Apples, peaches, and apricots are the best because they're fiber filled. They have fiber in them. Oranges, bananas, pears, tangerine, mangoes, plums, grapes. Excuse me. That's what eating good does to me. You know, grapes, no processed dried grapes either. Natural sun dried grapes. These are the grapes you want to eat. Also, whenever you eat fruit, let me say this too. It's best to eat the fruits with seeds. That's the most natural. Remember, anything grafted, anything made from the natural or you know made that's a derivative of the natural. Let me say that is not good. It's not good for you. And so a lot of these seedless fruits, they're not good for that reason. They're packed in sugar, they're man-made, and they just don't have the nutritional density that the seed, the seed full fruits have. Let me say that. You want to stay away from the seedless. Actually, the divinity, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, in nature is that which carries the seed. Think about that. Divinity in nature is that which carries the seed. I'm gonna let y'all think about that. But nonetheless, so those are a few fruits. Now I wanna bring somebody to the witness stand, and not even to the witness stand. I want to bring a guest lecturer in to tell you guys, because I'm gonna get into the color codes of food, right? So, so I want you guys to listen to what Minister Nuri Muhammad of the Nation of Islam has to say about the colors of food, because there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that we understood the science of food and we looked into the science so that we could live longer, we could live our best lives. Like Lil Duval said, I'm living my best life. So we can live our best life. And Brother Nuri is getting ready to tell y'all, student minister Nuri is getting ready to explain to y'all what that looked like. So listen up.
We knew the science of food and the color code that Allah God put on fruits and vegetables. So whenever we needed energy, we looked for red fruit and red vegetables. Whenever we felt like we were mentally fatigued, we went after the yellow fruits and vegetables, the squashes and the bananas. Whenever we needed to calm down and relax, we went after the blueberries and the eggplants and the grapes of the blue colored family. Whenever we needed to help our digestive process, we went after the green vegetables and the green fruit to help our digestion. Whenever we felt disease sneaking up on us and we needed to boost our immune system, we ate the orange family. And the color coding of the fruits and vegetables, we knew it scientifically. Therefore, we ate to live on the motherland. We had the first universities called mystery schools. Al Azhar University, Jesus went to it. I said Jesus went to it. You got to get this spooky thing about Jesus out your brain.
So, student minister Nuri broke down those color codes quite well. He broke them down quite well, and I'm thankful for that. And so, I am going to I'm going to show you guys what I have for that. I have a little chart that shows what colors foods and kind of goes into the specific foods. A little bit like Minister Nuri did. A little bit like he did. Just a little bit like he did, but recognizing that science, recognizing the science of food. We don't follow the science of food. You know, we eat for taste. We don't eat to be healthy. It's a difference. It's almost like that thing that you say, people or something might be good to you, but it's not good for you, right? Food is no different. And when you look in the universe, you'll see it's connected in that way. A lot of times we like foods. We like they call them comfort foods. Oftentimes, comfort foods are killer foods. The ice creams, the sweets, the baked goods. These are all things that are horrible for us. These are all things that will take us out of here fast. And so, learning the science, learning what's good and what's not, it will only help us to lengthen our lives, which we all should want to do. We all should be striving to do. So, I'll show you guys a little something. Just a little something. Little graph. I like it. I think it's cool. There we go. So it says, eat more color. Eat more color. Man, if you have a colorful diet, then you're doing all right. This is the American Heart Association. This is just what they said, right? This is just a visual for you all to look at. Blue and purple, red and pink, green, white, orange and yellow. The blackberries, the plums over there for the blue and purple. Then you got the beets and the pomegranates and the artichokes, kiwis, and then for the whites, you got banana. Y'all probably like bananas are white. I thought bananas were yellow. I did too. Then you got mushrooms, acorn, squashes, all these things, peaches. All of these things. You want to try to get those good, beneficial, nutritional colors. Now, I wrote down what those colors mean. Now, there's an article called Five Ways where I got this from. Stop sharing this. I'm gonna just go over this. It's called Five Ways. Five ways to decode foods, health benefits, right? By color. Now, when you're talking about red, you got tomatoes, watermelon, pink grapefruit, guava, and bell peppers. Now, when you decode those, they're rich. They're lycopene dense vegetables and fruits. Lycopene reduces the risk in several types of cancer. So that's what the red, like Brother Neri was saying, that's what the red, that's what they wanted to, that was a part of the usage. Then you have orange and yellow, the carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, cantaloupe, apricots, mango. You can take the sweet potatoes off of there, right? But when you decode all these things, it has beta carotene in it. And these fruits and vegetables, they protect your eyes as well as build up the immune system. Beta carotene is good for the immune system. I'm sure now they have it at GNC or at your local Whole Foods or wherever your small mom and pop store is where you can get all of these different, uh, pills and, you know, different herbal pills, different things like that. They probably are included. They're probably out there, but it's always best to eat the food, right? So with the green, we saw the kale, we saw the spinach, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts, things of that nature. Now, decoded lutein dense food, fruits and vegetables, also cruciferous vegetables, right? These things do a lot. Cruciferous vegetables, that's what I was taught about when I was an undergraduate. We taught we learned about cruciferous vegetables. That was the first time I had ever heard about it. And man, I was excited because I was like, wow, this makes sense. If y'all had a mom, dad, if y'all had told me this when I was young, maybe I would have eaten it. I would have loved it. Not really, but the cruciferous vegetables, they do a whole bunch. So they improve your cholesterol level and they control your blood glucose, which is great because that stops and prevents diabetes. It improves your gut health by feeding good bacteria to the gut. Um, One thing that we eat, right, in my home, or I should say that we drink rather, is kombuchas because kombuchas are good for gut health. They're good for your gut. They put that good bacteria in your gut and destroy the bad. So the next thing cruciferous vegetables does is they prevent constipation and keep your bowels regular. You got to keep that colon, excuse me, you got to keep that colon clean. Got to keep the colon clean. They also help fight cancer, cruciferous vegetables. That's what I learned in undergraduate. I was like, oh, wow, they help fight cancer. Okay, that's cool. That's real cool. So I was good with that. Once I learned that, I was like, cool. Now the blue and the purple, you got the blackberries, the blueberries, the red grapes, the plums, and the red cabbage. Now they have, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right, anthocyanins, and antioxidants. Dense foods that boost brain health, improve the circulation in your body, and they have anti-aging agents in them, right? Who wants to age in reverse? I know I do. Yeah, everybody, and you all should want to as well. You should want to age in reverse, right? So that's what your blue and purple fruits. That's what they do for you. Now we have our white, the white color fruits and vegetables: garlic, onions, leeks, scallions, cauliflowers. Allicin dense food that support heart health, help fight cancer, and combat viral and bacterial infections. Now those viral and bacterial infections, they're not cancer, but they sure can do some damage to you. They sure can do some damage, and they will, and they have. So just a little bit about what the color of those foods do. So next time in the grocery store, you can remember that. And when something like that may come upon you, when you might see yourself, hopefully you're not, but if you're plagued with any of those problems, your immune system, you might be worried about cancer, or you see cancer, your blood glucose, or you just want to age in reverse, you know. Look at the science of these foods and, you know, buy accordingly, right? Because it will only help you. It will only lengthen your life. It would only add years to it. So, next thing I want to talk about is bread. Bread, right? How does bread affect us? Well, bread bread is one of those carbohydrates, right? And a lot of us like white bread. I know I used to love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on white bread. That Wonder Bread, I could eat two of those and be good. And I would sleep so good. I'd have such beautiful dreams, only to become older and find out that that was killing us and it was contributing in an overwhelming large way to us getting diabetes. And I was like, wow, I got to give up my Wonder Bread. Bread is not good. I got another person I'm going to bring up. It's going to let you guys know a little something about bread and a little something about eating as well. This is Melchizedek Allah. He's going to talk to you. And y'all, I want y'all to look at this. Look at this brother and how young he looks. He looks good, but he's going to tell you what he does. He's going to explain to you how to how you can preserve your life. Yep, how you can preserve that life. So let's take a listen.
I'm 82. 82 years old. That's peace. You look good. You look good for your age. I look as if you ever do. Yes, you do. And somebody came here right now and says they think we was brothers. Right. Or you like we brothers. They would know the difference. Right. Right. That come from the wisdom. That come from the dietary law. Speak on the dietary law. No meat. No meat. Clean out your system. No meat at all. Clean out your system. Variety of fruits, variety of vegetables. You can have your salads. No starch. No starch at all. Rice, brown rice. Okay? Rice is a starch. Starch. Right. Because when starch enters your body, it turns to sugar, and that's how you get sugar diabetes. And that's why sugar diabetes is a killer today. They cut your finger, they cut your toe, they cut your leg, they cut your damn arm. Sugar diabetes is a big cancer, a big problem today, along with high blood pressure. Yeah, that's what high blood pressure comes from sugar diabetes. Is that sugar and salt? It gives you high blood pressure, and it gives you a stroke. Stroke first, and then comes the massive heart attack. The source of all medication is vegetation. And when you supply your body with vegetation, which is the source of medication, you're connected with the universal divine creation that creates vegetation. Now you're going for youthfulness. He knows. He teaches that. He's into the health thing. For years. How long have you been? Over about 50 years. Almost 50 years. I ain't no meat for about 50 years. I ain't had no fish about maybe 30. It's what you eat that keeps you alive. Keep you sharp. Keep you sharp. Keep your memory. It's about your memory of comprehending, about remembering and recording. And the only way you can remember, record, and all that, you got to what? You got to get into your dietarial law. Because everything you eat, everything goes upstairs. Okay, you got digestive system. You're eating 3 or 4 times a day. Your digestive system is operating 3 and 4 times a day. You don't give it a chance to rest.
That's why I call it fast.
Thank you. So by not resting, but when you eat once a day, and your digestive system is not operating, then your mental is moving fast. It's comprehending quicker, recording quicker. No meat at all. I don't even eat no fish. Fruits, vegetables. You young, you still got it going on. All you gotta do is take, prune juice, pure prune juice, a whole quart. Go in your house, when you watching home watching television, drink the whole quart. Flush your system. And no meat at all. But I'm gonna have some, okay, a little substitute, a little fish, a little red snapper, a little salmon. For now, every other day, not every day. But then after a while, you're gonna cut that loose. You God. How you gonna be the Lord of all the worlds and can't stop eating chicken?
Vegas. God tell me Lord,
How you gonna be the Lord of all the worlds? I don't want to.
Brother always breaks it down. I love Melchizedek. I love me some Melchizedek, man. I do. And he's right. And you see how young that brother is so smart. And you see, that was a few years old. Let me look and see how old that was. That was 5 years ago. He was in his 80s. So he has to be in his early 90s now. He still looks just as good. But you heard what he said. It's the dietary law. It's what you putting in. Your vegetation is your medication. Brother was giving us the supreme science. Yeah, he was giving us that science. And so, yeah, you want to listen to that. So, yeah, with the breads, you want to eat whole wheat bread. Eat whole wheat, not whole grain, right? Too much for our digestive system. It's too much for us to digest. It's not good at all. And bread, when it's cooked, if it's not cooked long enough, it will rise. That yeast will rise in our stomach. That's not good. That's not good for us at all. Eat wheat flour, never white flour. Wheat flour, not white flour. Why not white flour? White flour has been robbed of all its vitamins and all its nutrients, right? All the proteins, and they sell them separately. You know what they call them? Cereals. That's all you eating when you eating cereal. That's it. That is all. So yeah, eat wheat flour, not white flour. When you make things, that white flour is not good. It's in that whole carbohydrate family, right? The white stuff, the sugar, flour, bread or the grains. Not good. Not good at all. Something I said earlier, cornbread. Cornbread is horrible for you due to our stomachs not being able to properly digest it. Cornbread is horrible. I know we love to eat cornbread. People eat cornbread. I grew up eating cornbread and collard greens. Ooh, I could tear it up. And depending on how, I don't know about y'all, but it was people in my family who, depending on where I was geographically, like if I was down south somewhere, man, they could make some cornbread and it almost tastes like cake. It tastes like a muffin. You could eat that cornbread with ice cream. And if you close your eyes and fed it to somebody, they would think they were eating ice cream and cake. That's how good it was. That's how good it was. But remember, the history of cornbread is it was given to hogs to fatten the hog, to make the hog bigger, ready for the slaughter, more profitable. So no cornbread. Never eat fresh, hot corn muffins or hot cakes with syrup, pancakes or waffles. Half cooked bread shortens our lives because it rises up again in our stomachs, buckling our stomachs and intestinal walls. So you don't want to eat those things. You want to stay away from those things. Those things aren't good for you. Yeah. Pancakes really aren't good. Now, we just heard Melchizedek talk about meats. I just want to put a little exclamation mark on what he was saying. No canned meats, right? Anything canned is not good, right? Don't eat it. No fried foods. Frying changes the nutritional makeup of foods, depletes the nutrient. I read somewhere where fried foods, when you fry foods, you make it a carcinogen as well, right? You make it a carcinogen. So fried foods really are not good for you. Fried foods are horrible for you, actually. Catfish, we love that catfish. That's the filthy pig of the water. And then we had that at every fish fry, right? All the fish fries we have catfish. After church, get you a catfish plate. Horrible. It's horrible. It's the catfish is the pig of the sea. It's the swine of the sea. Stay away from it. Stay far, far away from it. It does not agree with you, and it does not bring you life, and it does not bring you beauty. It does not bring out your natural essence, right? Chickens aren't really good as well. They eat whatever's on the ground. They'll eat fecal matter too, i.e., poo, i.e., like Michael Jackson said, the late great Mike, doo doo. They'll eat it. They will. Yeah. So now it's not forbidden for us to eat like the swine, the pig is, but it's not good either. Fish, the fish that you want to eat outside of the catfish, which we do not eat, that you should not eat because it'll eat anything on the bottom. Shrimp is not good for you. Oysters are not good for you. Crab, these things are not good. These are all like insects. The shrimp is like the roach of the water. And it even, if you think about it, it even has that shelling, that casing. If you ever I stepped on some roaches in my time, right? And they have that crunchy a roach crunches when you step on it. No different than when you eating a shrimp. Eat that shrimp, close your eyes. You're gonna hear that same crunch that you hear when you step on the roach, the casing. So the roach and the shrimp both have that casing. It's just wings on the roach, but it's the same thing. Same thing. But the fish that we want to eat, it should weigh between 1 and 10 pounds. This gives your stomach a good a good solid something that's malleable in there, and it's solid and it's not going to be overwhelming to digest. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because like I said, your stomach is a muscle, and it takes 24 hours to digest food completely, right? 8 to 12 hours per meal. Now, I already gave you all the science behind that. If you eating 3 meals a day, it's only 24 hours in a day. So you got what, 12 extra hours of food left. Rewind it. I did the mathematics earlier in the video. But yeah, you don't want to you don't want to eat like that. You don't want to eat that food that's gonna make your stomach work overtime and wear it out, wear the lining out, not give it any rest. You want to keep hydrated. A lot of times we think we're hungry, but we're really satiated. We're really thirsty, satiated. We're past hydration. We need water quick. Try to drink a water gallon. I challenge anybody under my voice, anybody watching this, try to drink a gallon of water a day. Watch how you're not hungry. Watch how you lose weight, and watch how your skin begins to glow. Watch it. You're going to be like, damn, man, I'm looking young again. I feel 15 again. That's if you didn't have pimples when you were when you were 15, whatever age you were, when your skin really looked good, like you were jumping off of a movie set. That's what that water will do for you, right? It'll keep that circulation and it'll help to detoxify the blood, and it's going to naturally make that skin grow. When to eat, give your stomach from 24 to 36 hours to rest to digest its food, right? The brain and the digestive tract have much in common with one another. Whatever hurts one hurts the other. We must treat both well. Yes, a brain in your stomach. And whatever hurts the brain down here hurts the brain up here. Yeah, so we have to treat them well. Now, it also mentions in the book, I didn't need to write this down. It also mentioned in the book fasting, right? Fasting. You want to fast. When you fast, you want to consume water, right? What does fasting do for you? Well, fasting does a lot. It regenerates your cells, it allows your stomach to rest, and it generally lengthens your life. Why? Because when it regenerates those cells, brothers and sisters, it's killing all the bad cells off. I'm going to let a doctor talk to you, right? I'm going to let a doctor tell you in a little bit better detail. But yeah, oh yeah, it helps. Now I'm gonna read something out of here. This chapter says beautiful appearance and long life. I love that beautiful appearance because everybody wants to look good and we want long life, right? We cannot be successful in making the progress of a spiritual life unless we have the guidance for the physical life. This guidance comes to us through laws, rules, and regulations for our physical life. We must make this teaching of eating once a day binding upon us as a law in order to get any good from it. The purpose of these dietary laws and the time that we should partake of food is to lengthen our lives by ridding us of the greedy desire to eat 3 times a day and between meals if offered food. Remember, the pig is a glutton. The pig eats whenever. The pig will eat past its, being full, it's being satisfied, and that causes problems. The main purpose of the teaching, how to eat to live, is to prolong our lives. I'm going to read that one more time. The main purpose of this teaching, how to eat to live, is to prolong our lives. Beauty appearance is destroyed in us, not just our facial appearance, but the most beautiful appearance about us, our characteristics, the way we act and practice our way of life. We achieve one of the greatest beauties when we achieve the spiritual beauty and characteristics through practicing them. We achieve the spiritual beauty through practicing our care or carrying into practice the spiritual laws. I listened to Mike Tyson talk about how he changed his diet and it changed his temperament. You remember Mike in the early days when Cus D'Amato died. For those of y'all who don't know, long story short, Mike Tyson was street kid who's getting in trouble, goes upstate in upstate New York, Tryon, meets a guy, teaches him how to box. Then he takes him to Cus D'Amato. Cus D'Amato trains him, takes him in, adopts him. Eventually, when Mike's mother's died, Mike mother's passes, when Mike mother passes, and then eventually Cus passes, and he's out to fend for himself. And he was kind of erratic. He was emotionally handicapped, if you will. That's the way I view Mike. He was emotionally handicapped because the one guy who had taught him to be strong and loved him and was a father figure to him was gone. But now Mike has a hot boxing podcast, right? One day I'll get on there with Mike. And Mike talked about how when he when he stopped eating meat, he stopped feeling so predatory. It changed his temperament. It changed the way he acted. And that's what the book was just saying, when you change up what you consume, you change up your behavior because, like I said, you are what you eat. But I also like that he said beauty and appearance, spiritual but physical as well. You know, I tell my children when you go to fast food restaurants, look at the people walking in and out, look at their condition. And they always say, "Why, Daddy?" Well, two things. If they appear to be unhealthy, that's not something that happened overnight. That's something that happened over time. Secondly, you're looking into your future. if you continue to consume this trash. So whatever you see of negative or pathology in their health, don't laugh because y'all are going to the same place. Understand that you're in line to not only eat, but you're in line to get the condition that they have, whether it's obesity, whether it's diabetes, whether it's hypertension. You in line to get that. So yeah. And that's just I try to be as realistic and transparent and real with my children as possible about all aspects of life. If I don't, I fail them. And I'm always teaching them what you eat will keep you here and it'll take you away. Remember that because they're at the ages where, they go to school and kids are eating pizza, kids are eating double cheeseburgers with bacon, you know, people are eating fried butter, just death on a tray. And I'm like, we can't do that, y'all. We can't do that. Do you want to look 90 when you're 40 or do you want to look 40 when you're 90? A good 40. Jada Pinkett mama 40, right? The sister who's that chef, that's 70. I think it's Chef Babette, that kind of 40. Them sisters look good. And it's a lot of how they eating. They working out, but it's a strict, simple diet that they're on, right? And that's helping them. It looks good. It looks good. It agrees with them. Let me say that. But fasting, it's so beautiful, the benefits of fasting. But don't take my word for it. I'm going to let the doc tell you exactly how good fasting is for all of you good people. Yeah, I'm going to let him. Well, I'm going to let, you know what? I'm going to let two. I'm going to play these shorts for y'all. Dr. Bobby Price, right? Dr. Bobby Price. He's a young man that I listen to. He's in the vein of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when it comes to nutrition, right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is somebody that y'all want to, there he is, that y'all want to check out. Then you have Dr. Laila Africa, these are both ancestors. Dr. Laila Africa. Then you have, of course, Dr. Sabi, who studied under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who met with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I can't think of Yaki's last name. It's a brother named Yaki. Dreads, beard, real sharp brother. They were making fun of him a while ago. He said some things that was comical to people, and they just ran with it. But brother's serious, and he gives out some serious insight when it comes to nutrition and how to live 1,000 years. But the brother I'm getting ready to play for y'all, his name is Dr. Bobby Price. And Dr. Price, he has some good bills that I listen to. He has great guests. And he's just an all around solid brother. So I want you guys to pay attention to what brother is saying because it's very helpful. And hopefully you guys can go and check some bills out for yourself. Yeah. So without further ado, here we go. Let's see what Dr. I'm going to play the first one.
One of the quotes from Hippocrates that I like is to eat when you are sick means to feed your sickness. Even if you have a dog or a cat, what you'll notice is when they get sick, they do not eat. I've even seen dogs when they get sick go a period of not eating and then go outside on the front lawn and start eating the grass so they can purge. So animals even know the benefits of fasting or when they should fast, but we don't have that intuitive connection with our bodies anymore. So we don't know to do that. One of the quotes from Hippocrates that I like is to eat when you are sick means to.
So that's one of them. I'm gonna play this one too because this one deals with our diet, right? The Afro-American diet. And it goes over a little bit, kind of reaffirms what I was just saying. So check this out.
It isn't necessarily being African American. What it is eating the African American diet. As I mentioned before, the African American diet is laden in fat, animal fat in particular, laden in sugar, what feeds cancer, and also very high in processed foods, which has no fiber. And a combination of those three things are, as I said before, is a prescription for cancer. So the African American diet is definitely a risk factor. The African American diet are not only high in those things, but it's high in foods that are fried, barbecued, overcooked, ultra processed, those type of foods. So you got to get those foods out of the diet because those foods are inflammatory, and inflammatory foods cause cancer to grow. It isn't necessarily.
And this is the last one. I'm gonna let you guys see with Dr. Bobby Price.
Intermittent fasting is when you create a window of time where you're not actually eating. I may stop eating at 7 and then I may not eat again until 10 a.m. the next day, which will give me like a 15-hour window where I'm not eating. That gives the gut digestive rest. And when the gut is able to rest, the good thing about that is when we rest, we repair, we heal. So intermittent fasting can be very helpful for you. Intermittent fasting is when you create a window of time where you're not actually eating.
Well, all right. Now, they didn't call it intermittent fasting when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was living. They just called it fasting. And what he taught us was start with fasting one day. And then when you master one day, do 2 days, eat once every other day. And then when you mastered once every other day, go to eating once every 3 days. And when you mastered that, eat once a week. And when you can eat once a week, stay there. Stay there. A lot of y'all like, this dude is crazy. Who trying to eat once a week? When people ask things like, hey, when I say, man, I'm trying to master or I eat one meal a day, people say, one meal a day? How do you have energy? Don't you be tired? And I always say the same thing. I always say, listen, on Thanksgiving, when y'all done eat all y'all ham and dressing and desserts and candy yams with the marshmallow on top, your multi-cheese, mac and cheese, with your 6 types of cornbread, all of them sweet, the dressing, all that good stuff. Once you eat that, what do you want to do? What do you do? I go and lay down and go to sleep. Exactly. Well, guess what? When I eat one meal a day, I have so much energy because my stomach, i.e., my body, is not involved in that process of breaking down all of these foods. That's why you get the itis, because it takes your whole body, it takes the team of cells that makes up your body to break down. The digestive process is the longest process that the body has to involve itself in. And when you eat like that, that's why you get tired. So the opposite of that is when you don't eat like that, when you eat one meal of clean foods, food that are going to detox, foods that are going to lengthen your life, you will only have more energy. That's what we were taught. But I also told you earlier that the doctors are now saying certain things that we were taught in the 60s, right? So I would like to share just one more. And this is one of my favorites because this is Dr. Prajip Jamnadas. I hope I said that right. We're just going to call him Dr. PJ. And he's speaking on the benefits of fasting at the scientific and the medicinal or the medical level. And I think it's beautiful. He's really breaking this right on down. So let's take a listen to what he says. He's talking about fasting.
For the reason that you need to harness nature's way of giving you stem cells. You want a stem cell transplant right now? You're going to fast. It's the fastest way to increase your stem cells. So these stem cells come out of the bone marrow. It's called refeeding reward. And they go into the organs and replenish cells that have died and change the machinery in those cells as well. So there's a whole rejuvenation process. You are a younger, better, more resilient person than you were before. And this has all been documented over and over again. But there's no industry that's going to support me because there's no financial gain if you get better and younger and live longer. Because there's no one there to make money out of it. No one makes money when you fast, they lose money. So boost your growth hormone, boost your stem cells. This has been very well documented, not only in humans, in animals too. Well documented over and over again. It's just that nobody's ever heard of it. And everyone thinks that, oh, fasting is just fasting, it's starvation, it's no good. But there's so much science behind this. So the next benefit, of course, is stem cell mobilization that occurs. And to get the maximum benefit of that, you can't just do, overnight fast. No, you really need to fast, because for the bone marrow to say, I'm going to come in and replace, you got to really have reached that point of replacement. So you can't speed it up either. So the question is, can I do a 3-day fast? Of course I can do a 3-day fast. You got to prepare yourself mentally. You got to prepare yourself physically for the environment. Make sure that you're with your best friends and environment. And you got to have water so that you don't get dehydrated. So you can do it. All of us can do it. So you can fast for different reasons. So when would I want autophagy?
That was Dr. PJ. That was Dr. PJ speaking. And you heard what he said. He just reaffirmed, he just confirmed everything that we were taught. The benefits of fasting and how it regenerates your stem cells and how it makes you look younger and keeps you younger. Man, health is wealth, y'all. Health is wealth. And I want to be as wealthy as possible. So that means I have to be as healthy as possible. Teach your babies. They're the best part. Teach the babies. Teach them that understanding. Teach them. Because, our childhood obesity is on the rise. Childhood diabetes, hypertension is on the rise, or high blood pressure. People just aren't, people are not, they're not cultivating themselves, that we're not cultivating our families in the way that we once did. And it's a shame. I'm going to end it on this. I was speaking to a buddy of mine, and they were telling me how Happy Meal ain't so happy these days because it's increased in price. And that's sad because a lot of people don't know how to cook. A lot of these young people don't know how to cook. It's a microwave society. It's a fast food family. Processed foods aren't good. Fast foods aren't good. We have to have gardens in our yards, have community gardens so that we can grow and we can be healthy and we can make our meals home cooked. It's nothing like a home cooked meal. A man loves a home cooked meal. He does. He loves a home cooked meal. That says a lot to him. And men, you can cook a home cooked meal as well. There's nothing that says that you can't. You can do the same for your woman. But I wanted to bring this to you because, again, like I've been saying, Your vegetation is your medication. Make your food your medicine before your medicine becomes your food. And we have to learn how to eat to live. And I hope I've shared a little bit so that you all know a little bit better. Now you have a little bit of knowledge. Like I said, you got some people that y'all can research and look up. Y'all have these books that talk about eating good, how to eat to live, book 1 and 2. And you have me, Brother Faheem, with Leave of Logic. This is going to continue to bring you guys this great, great content. Listen, big things on the horizon. I got some surprises coming up. Some very, very interesting things that are getting ready to happen, and I'm very excited about it. So I'm gonna wrap it up right there. But I wanted to say, you know, just like Brother Malcolm would say, may we meet again in the light of understanding. Hey, peace, y'all.